entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code of a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be lied to avoid if you never did you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to TruckerMouth, the podcast that gives you real insight into the trucking industry while providing a platform for your voice to be heard. Whether you're behind the wheel, managing logistics, or just passionate about the industry, this is the place to build confidence, share experiences, and stay informed. Join us as we tackle the challenges, celebrate the wins, and drive forward together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Underground. I'm TruckerMouth, and you're on the road. Here on the road today, we're going to discuss a major safety issue on our nation's highways. We have people out there.
Our military is one.
We have people out there that are running around that don't speak the English language enough to comprehend things, road signs, emergency vehicles. I mean, just everything to do with it. They're not English proficient enough to be out there, and it's a big safety problem. Okay, so these motor carriers now are cutting all kind of corners, sacrificing highway safety, trying to get people on the road in these trucks the cheapest way they can, and they're cutting corners any way they can, and they're putting cheap labor in these seats, often non-English speaking people not complying with English proficiency regulations. So this became such a problem that the Department of Transportation came up with the English Proficiency Regulations Act. Okay? Act 39111, General Qualifications for Drivers. Okay, this became such a problem that they actually it was enacted in 1936, but it wasn't enforced. So the English Proficiency Act come up with a general qualification for drivers guidelines. Okay? And it is stated, a driver must be qualified to drive a commercial vehicle. A driver must be able to read and speak English language good enough to converse general public and to understand highway traffic signs and signals in English and respond to official inquiries. Okay, these people are not, they're wrecking, they're killing people, and it's just a huge safety concern out there. And I don't know how it got like this, but these people are getting CDLs through loopholes. These regulations date back to 1936 with only a few additions. Obviously, they weren't enforced. Obviously, they weren't. This to grow to a national problem of safety on our nation's highways, it wasn't enforced, that's for sure. In 2014, the English Proficiency Regulations, which was then enforced as part of the Commercial Vehicle Safety Act, put drivers out of service. Okay? Resulted in 100,280 violations, and only 4,036 of these drivers were placed out of service. Only 4,036 of them were placed out of service. I was placed out of service for running an hour over my logbook. And that's what's an hour service? 36 hours off? 24 hours or something like that? It sucked. I was stuck out in the middle of nowhere. All they had was a vending machine. Every time I went in there, these DOT officers were messing with me. And these guys are running the roads. Unbelievable. The 2014 Proficiency regulation, which was then enforced as part of the resulted, we discussed that. In 2015, the Commercial Vehicle Safety Act voted to drop the English proficiency regulations from out of service criteria. So they didn't want to put these people out of service. What do you mean you don't want to put them out of service? I don't understand it. How could you not put these people out of service if they're in violation of Commercial Vehicle Safety Act? Don't make any sense to me. They put any air driver out for a tire or this and that. But no, these people get ready to run the road. See, the Border Patrol and all can't catch all these people. In 2024, $91 billion of freight came over the American-Mexican border. So, I mean, they got trucks lined up every day. I mean, you can't catch everybody. But, I mean, they could have done a better job than this. Because if these people are getting these CDLs through loopholes. Now, I lost my CDL in 2017. Well, the end of 2017. And I couldn't find a loophole. No one pardoned me. I tried to find loopholes. Believe me, I lost everything I had. What I did have. I lost it. And ain't nobody. I tried to change. I was going to change my name. But that wasn't proficient. So it was terrible. Well, they aim to fix that. The OID petitioned the Commercial Vehicle Safety Administration in early March to reinstate the out-of-state criteria. Why did you do away with the out-of-service criteria? Sorry, out-of-service criteria. Why did you do away with that? What do you do with drivers who are non-compliant? You put them out of service. Okay? It just makes no sense or how these people are getting these CDLs. But they're going through loopholes. And I tried to find a loophole to get a CDL. I couldn't find one. I'll tell you right now. Drivers unable to comply with the English Proficiency Act got on the road through a variety of loopholes. And they're closing them up. They're sewing them up. And, most notably is the non-domiciled CDL program, which has actually started to get student drivers on the road. So these people, these carriers want to fill these seats in these trucks. They want them trucks out there roll around to make them money. They ain't worried about safety. They ain't worried about nothing. The bottom line's all they're worried about. And I know that's how the world works, but when it comes to your safety on America's highways, you got to be a little better than that. And I'm not saying all carriers, but with some of these bum carriers are doing that. They have a turnover rate of over 100% because of the way they treat their drivers. And so a non-domiciled CDL began being issued to individuals who passed knowledge and skills tests in a state other than their home state and are issued a CDL license. So what happens was they go to these training programs through these big carriers, go through their school, they push them through, okay? They push them through, and they obtain a license in another state. Actually, another country, because that opened the door for Mexicans and all that, and Canada, for people coming all over South America to get these non-domiciled CDLs. I wish y'all knew about it. Anyway, so what you got to do when you go through these schools, all you got to do is get a post office box that says you're a resident of that state, and you can get a CDL license in that state. Makes no sense to me. they don't have to go back to their home state. I guess say I'm from Pennsylvania. So say I go from Pennsylvania and I go to Ohio to a training program, and somehow I am issued an Ohio license. I don't know how they do it. This program opened the door for people from Mexico and Canada and other countries to work in the U.S. How in the hell did that work? When a commercial driver license is now federal and everybody, all the states are compliant with, they all communicate with each other. How did that happen? I don't get it. I really don't freaking get it. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration looking to close the loopholes. Stricter enforcement on fraudulent CDL issuers. Yeah. Find out who these people are. Who's doing this? Shut the whole fucking thing down. The whole country. Shut the whole company down. If you're doing this, shut them down. They're in violation of federal rules. Not just DOT rules, federal rules in the whole country. I don't get it. I drank and drove. Okay, I drove truck for 24 years. Okay, I drank and drove. I lost my CDL for life for 2 DUIs 8 years apart. Not in a truck, never in a truck or anything. And TruckerMouth lost his CDL for life. Well, these people are coming through the country and getting these CDLs through loopholes. We're 60,000 truck drivers short right now, and I can't drive a truck. Kiss my ass. The Federal Motor Carrier looking to close loopholes, okay? And fraudulent CDL issuers. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration trying to get real numbers on these non-domiciled CDL holders currently operating on our roads. There's thousands of them. Thousands of them. And they're not they're not safe. And I know these people are out there trying to make a living, but you're endangering. These trucks are weapons. Okay, you're driving a 70-foot long truck, 80,000 pounds fully loaded GVWR on an average tractor trailer, and you who knows what harm they could cause if they see the sign blinking, right, saying stop traffic ahead on one of them billboards on these major highways and throughways. Okay. Stop traffic ahead. They can't read it. They're barreling down 81st Street, and they barrel into freaking stop traffic, which can kill 12 people. What the hell is this, man? It's a major concern, and these you gotta get these carriers who's doing this. Okay, see the safety records of them. And see how they're being recruited, compensated, and treated. We know they're going down there and recruiting people from other countries. And that's just not right, man. I mean, I understand that, the money makes the world go down, but you gotta be safe, man. I mean, like I said, I got a lifetime suspension for that. And you got, people running around the country that can't understand the language, proficiency enough to be safe out there. That's why I did the show on this. I did TruckerMouth putting the hammer down on unsafe drivers. Right? He don't like it. And I just they're coming into these countries from these countries, and these people were taking them in. How can you not even be a citizen of the United States and get a CDL license? How's that happen in America? I don't understand it. So there's other loopholes too. Okay. First of all, people are issuing fake CDL licenses out there, and completely fake CDLs. And as long as you don't get really looked at, they look genuine. I mean, they're printing them, they're giving these people, and they're doing that. I tried to find that too. I found that was going on. I mean, hey, I do what I do. I was living on the street. I lost my trade for life. And sometimes this English proficiency doesn't really pertain. Like I was doing these temp jobs, and a lot of times everybody was Hispanic. Most people were Hispanic, and they were packing these chips in these like you see in stores, the stands, the cardboard stands. They're packed. Okay, that really don't, you're not really hurting nobody there. You're not really hurting nobody there. But in other situations, I mean, it's bad. Like I was in this foundry where a lot of people were not English speaking, and you're pouring metal. And I said that to the guy. I said, I said, what happens if I'm yelling at this guy? Hey, watch it. The ladle's turning over, and he can't understand what I'm saying. So, okay, well, it's time for a station break. When we come back, more TruckerMouth putting the hammer down on fraudulent CDLs. When we come back, more from the underground. We're going to breaking it down.
Everywhere I go, trouble seems to find me. There ain't no place that I fit in. Raised in the backwoods, and just like him, oh, I'm a fighting man. Well, I was born with a gun in my hand, child of this land. Lord, please save me from my sins. Out here howling in the wind. Look to the west, see your sunset. Someday kneel at the pew. This old wasteland, it is my land. Around here I do what I want to do. Well, I was born with a gun in my hand, child of this land. Lord, please save me from my sins. Out here howling in the wind. Well, I was born with a gun in my hand, child of this land. Lord, please save me from my sins. Out here howling in the wind. Everywhere I go, trouble seems to find me. There ain't no place that I fit in.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back on the road with TruckerMouth. TruckerMouth today is putting the hammer down on fraudulent CDLs and the safety. Okay? We're talking about loopholes, how these people obtain these CDL licenses, run our nation's highways. And the only way they're operating in the United States is abuse of what's called the B1 visas. Okay, a B1 visa, drivers coming up through the Mexican border must possess a B1 visa to operate over the border in the U.S. They're only supposed to take loads to and from Mexico, which means they're coming up over the border. They're supposed to take that load, say to Phoenix, pick up a load that's going back to Mexico. They're not supposed to run around the nation, okay? That's where they're abusing it. And, they're doing that. And they're doing it because they're told to do it. And, they're just trying to make a living. But, these carriers, Mexican carriers, they're keeping them here because freight's higher here. And they can make a lot of money. But it's they're abused. Everything's abused. Everything. Okay? Probable fleets using the B1 visa drivers and keep them in the country, running all around and picking up and delivering to points in the U.S. is known as cabotage. Okay, the saying for that, when you stay in the country running around, picking up and delivering, it's an act called cabotage. And it's against federal regulations. Cabotage lowers the price of freight because the carriers only they do a lot, they pick up a lot cheaper than price of U.S. carriers. Okay, so they're lowering the cost of freight, and the freight's already low. All right, they're running around here picking up and delivering freight, at a say half price of what a U.S. carrier would charge them. And I guess their brokers down there all have this all set up where they're running around and all, and it just it's bullshit. Age proficiency enforcements. Customs and Border Patrol should enforce the law. State and local law enforcement should be trained to enforce cabotage law. Yeah, everybody should be aware of this act, this cabotage act. And it came such an issue that they came up with a word for what they're doing. It's cabotage. Carriers found guilty should be severely punished to put out of service. If you're running them, look, it's time to do something. Asking people to do something is one thing. Now we're telling them, don't do this. All right? These people can't read proficient English and understand the road signs and all that. And they're a safety thing, and like I said, they're just doing what they're told to do, but it's a safety act, and they need to be put out of service. And English proficiency enforcement boils down to safety. These people with non-domiciled CDLs and B1 visa abusers contribute to influx of drivers unable to safely navigate the U.S. highways. And they need to be stopped. The DOT was all over me. All over me. I lost my CDL for life. I drank and drove. Okay, yeah. TruckerMouth, terrible person, okay? I can't get my CDL for nothing. They got all these loopholes again. People making fake CDLs, the B1 visas and non-dial CDLs. And I'm a safety issue? You got to be kidding. TruckerMouth's a good guy. He drove truck for 24 years. And it's just, these people are unable to safely navigate the U.S. highways. The situation has grown tremendously with fleets of all sizes looking to make money on these people. Yeah, they're doing it. They're putting anybody in these seats. They don't care. It's the bottom line. They don't care about safety. And if you get caught with these people and putting people on America's highways in danger, you should be not just shut down, but arrested and jailed. Okay? And if one of these people, one of these trucks gets in a wreck and kills somebody, you should be held accountable for that. Because you know what you're doing. If people are willing to work for far less than U.S. drivers are paid and are not compliant with the regulations, okay? They're trying to make a living, but there are a safety issue here in the United States. And again, it's against the federal law. So we got to stop it. We got to shut it down. And TruckerMouth's putting a hammer down on it. The commercial vehicle Safety Administration and Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration need to do their job. Yeah, because someone's not doing their job on this. Someone's not. How's it going on? How to get to a problem, a national problem? Because they ain't doing their job. Instead of adding more regulations that do nothing to improve our highway safety and continue to allow mistreatment of truck drivers, do your fucking job, man. Do your job. Make it safe. That's what you're paid for. All right? You're out there harassing me. You know what I mean? Shutting me down, this and that, all checking brakes, this and that. You got some guy who can't read the signs and where he's going. They probably have a GPS that speaks their language. But even so, I was already in a place in Elizabeth, New Jersey, this is no lie, when these guys came in and looked like they could be Mexican or South American with the delivery appointment numbers taped to their chest. They taped them to the chest in duct tape. I swear to God, and it was two of them. And we're not bashing them people. We're not saying nothing about it, but it's a safety risk and it's got to be stopped. I mean, they're hardworking people. They're out there, when they come to America, they're out there living in their trucks for, like I said, a half of what an American driver would be making. And, we have to, to stop that too. I mean, because they're being mistreated. Remember, at 30, you get, okay. So, yeah. If you're a shipper or receiver and you see a driver in the facility that can't speak the English language, see who they drive for. Call a local. I mean, if he blatantly can't speak the American language or understand things, get a hold of somebody. The lives you save with him staying off the road might be your own families. And he might be in violation of the English Proficiency Act or the B-1 Visa Act. It just saves American lives, and it might be your own. A fully loaded tractor trailer, 70 foot long, 8,000 pounds, like I said, can do a lot of damage. A truck could kill a lot of people on the road if it barrels through, stop traffic. Say there's one of them highway signs that say stop traffic ahead, and he can't understand it and barrels right through traffic and kills 12 people. I mean, this guy could be a terrorist for all we know. And he's running our nation's highways with a weapon like that. So they need to do their job. And like I said, $91 billion in freight came over the Mexican border last year. And, they can't catch everybody. They shouldn't be issuing these B-1 visas to everybody. I mean, they should have to take a proficiency. If you ask me, TruckerMouth says they should have to take a proficiency test before you get on the road with a B-1 visa. Now, I'm not sure if the carrier gets that and they run under the carrier, or each individual truck driver has to get that. I'm not sure about this, but they need to do something with that. America's 60,000 truck drivers short. And I drove truck for 24 years, and they won't pardon me. I can't get a loophole. I never was in a wreck. I never had a wreck, no nothing. In a commercial vehicle. So, definitely got to crack down, and TruckerMouth's putting a hammer down on fraudulent CDL holders, and it's a big safety concern for everybody out there. And that's why I did the show on it. I was concerned about it. I witnessed it myself, and it's got to be stopped. You got to do something about it before more people are killed, more Americans are killed on the roads. If you don't speak the English, stay off our nation's highways. I mean, if you can't speak it proficiently, safely, and operate a vehicle, stay off the highways, man. They said Uber Freight is one of the companies reaping the benefits the surge in Mexican cross-border freight. On October 22nd, the company announced a 77% year-to-year increase in cross-border new business production. CEO Lear Ron also pointed out the company's moving nearshoring to Mexico. Nearshoring supplies chains and cross-border trade and priorities used at our shipper partners. So Uber Freight is one of the big contributors to this. And if they're doing it and they're recruiting people from South America or wherever and can't speak the language, they need to be shut down. They need to be shut down and dealt with severely. And that's TruckerMouth's opinion. And I think, if we can do that, we'll save some Americans' lives, and it might be your own family's lives. So, all right, well, about all I got. But it's definitely an issue. And okay, so thanks everybody for coming along for the ride on the road. Thanks for coming on the road with TruckerMouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving